Shut up and sit down. And sit down.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome inside another edition of the 360 Sports Show. I am Aiden Pizzelli, he is Christian Lauber, and we are bringing you the biggest stories from the past week in sports here to you tonight. Join us anytime in the comment section of any of the live streams through Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. And if you're finding us as a podcast, thank you for finding us through Sounder FM or wherever you get your podcasts from. You can always email us, the360sportshow@gmail.com, to contribute your thoughts.
What's up, people?
What's up? How we doing? Christian, how's baseball doing? America's pastime right today. Big negotiations going down in Jupiter, Florida.
Going down is right. Yeah, going down with the ship. They're all going down with it. Let's just cancel the first month of a sport that's dying.
Isn't it? It's so tone deaf, isn't it? Right? And I don't think it's necessarily, I'm not going to put, the players want to play. There's things the players want that the players deserve. And from ownership and management and league level, Manfred here, it's just their willingness to say, nah, we'll wait a month. You don't realize what's going on with your sport? Not only are you not playing games right now, you're probably not going to be playing games anytime soon. You think that you can afford to not play for a month?
You know what's funny, though? The best part
nobody
is
actually, the thing is, me and you care, but nobody else cares. And they don't realize that nobody else cares right now.
But the biggest problem is they're not even talking about making the game better. It's not like, let's do a pitch clock, no, it's all money related, where the owners have kind of been winning this whole battle for the last 3 to 5 years. And the players are trying to get something back here, which I would say they deserve. Now, for me, in my personal opinion, it's about 70-30. 70% on the owners, 30 on the players. The players are not completely null and void from this because they don't want to change the game either, which I think is really where they should go with this. But instead, it's all about money. And it's all about, whatever it is, free agency and money, and it's always about money. And they're going to, no sweat for the owners, right? Cancel a month, and, we'll be good because summer's coming around the corner in, May, right? May, June, July. That's when they get their money. Say they don't care. The players, though, well, we don't really care if you don't care. So,
well, I was going to say, that's kind of like these last few years, arguing over the pandemic, whether they should play or not, when you could have been the only show in town, and all this, it's really revealed the deep, dark underbelly of modern day sports, which is that, it's all about the money. You know that, and everybody's always there. We're aware that it's an entertainment business. But in a situation like this, where both sides are just kind of like, whatever.
Right.
I mean, it's not about winning. I mean, Rob Manfred himself called the trophy just a hunk of metal.
True.
So it's so do owners care about winning? We talk about this all the time. Do owners in professional sports care about winning, or do they care about the TV money? Being just good enough so that people tune in, so that you get that revenue, baby. Let's get that. Let's get a piece of the pie. That's all we care about. Fans want to win. You think players want to win. Not all players. For some players, it's a job that they're good at. It's something they're good at. It's a way to make money. A lot of money. This was from, I just want to read this. This was a paragraph from a piece on Yahoo from Zach Kreiser. This kind of plays into all this. But in Rob Manfred's MLB, the white noise of earnest enthusiasm has faded. Up bubbled a sound that gnawed at players in frozen winters, that befuddled fans when Mookie Betts and Francisco Lindor were traded. It became unavoidable during drawn-out fights over whether or not to even play baseball during the pandemic. Now it's all anyone paying attention can hear. The hamster wheel rattling along, drowning out the crack of the bat, the pop of the glove, and just about everything else. Speaking to the money, it's just a giant fight over money, which talk about especially at any time, but at the current state of things right now, the biggest turnoff in the world. Billionaires fighting with millionaires. And they don't
100%.
care.
100%. So we saw, you just mentioned it. We saw the same thing last year. You could have been the only show in town, right? You could have been the only sport going. Really kind of grab people and gravitate towards people during a situation where everybody's inside. It's a pandemic. Now, I mean, inside in some respects, but obviously you could go out then. It's summertime. But still, gravitate towards the game of baseball because there's no other sports going on. Instead, you're quibbling over money again and how many games need to be played and this, that, and the other thing. No fans, and it's just, here we go again. Right into the next year, and now we're here in a lockout. And I don't know what else to say at this point. It's just, it's expected. And for the owners and Manfred, who, I mean, I think Manfred is just, I don't know. I don't know how good he is at his job. I really don't. Maybe he's good for the owners. Doesn't seem like he's great for the game of baseball, though. So...
No.
That's really where it comes down to for me. They're not really trying to change the game, which needs to happen. Instead, they're kind of like punching it down even further than it already is, and it's kind of dying out as it is.
For better or worse, we talk about Roger Goodell as just, he's the shield. He protects the owner's interests, right? And for all the grief he gets from all sides, he'll never get fired because he's too good at shielding them. He takes all the punches, and they keep making all the dough, so they're not going to fire that guy. Whether or not you think he's good for the game or not. The game's making money. NFL sells itself. I guarantee you, if there was a lockout right now in the NFL, Roger Goodell would not be like playing chicken saying, well, we're fine canceling a month of football games. No way, Jose. Not going to happen.
Not even close.
And that's from the biggest sport in America. And a guy that we think is pretty incompetent. Even he, I think, would realize that you can't do this. And for a sport that's on the brink at the professional level, the way it is, I think it's great right now. No MLB games. We're pumping out college baseball on the networks. I think that is awesome.
Yeah.
Which we should have more of that just to begin with. Because the college product is an incredible product. These guys just don't realize it. I don't know. I don't know what it would take. Because negotiations and like tonight the deadline, or is it tomorrow? Is like the
deadline. I believe it's 12 p.m. 12 a.m. 12? I want to say what it is.
Yeah, and guess what? I doubt we're getting any sort of deliberations right now. There's not going to be any late. Nobody expects any 11th hour sort of thing. So get ready for more nothing, and maybe this is what it needs. It needs to blow up.
Is that what it's going to take? Who knows? I mean, we're going to find out. That's for sure.
So yeah, this is Colin in the comments section to what we were talking about. It would be one thing if they were spending this time to fix the product and resurrect the sport, but they're not. They're just milking a shriveled up cow and working for another 10 years of unwatchable baseball. Rest in peace. Yeah, that's a pretty good assessment of where things are right now. Christian, do you think when will eventually there's got to be a deal? Like, we're not going to just miss a year, right? Like, this is not going to be like where we're not going to play with scabs. We're not going to like it. I don't think it would ever get there again because that was terrible. I don't think we're going to miss a World Series. If we didn't miss a World Series during a pandemic, no shot. So I don't think it gets there. But how long is this going to go? When do the owners finally blink?
I think you're losing at least a month, maybe two. I don't know. I would say by June you have baseball going. That's wishful thinking, I think, though, because it seems like they have been meeting here for like the last month, and it's like, well, they met for 25 minutes and then they left. So
Yeah.
are they really meeting? I don't know. And again, to me, the biggest issue is they're not changing anything about the game itself. So it's not like they're in there trying to figure out a rule set, new ads to the game to make it shorter, to make it more watchable. No, it's all money. So who knows how long it could go on? I mean, it's like basically a pissing match between the two. I mean, we've seen this before. It happens in other sports, just not to the degree. And also when it happens in other sports, those guys want, especially like you see this happen in the NHL, they want to play. Those guys want to play. They're going to get something done. You know that. Same with the NFL, the Shield, the brand, the TV deals that they have. It's just a massive entity. They're not going to miss games. MLB, we'll miss a month, maybe two. We'll see. It's just it's one thing after another with the sport, and for me, it just does not get me. Is anybody jazzed up for baseball right now?
No, I think even if they announced right now at midnight, if it's like 11:55, we'll be off the air. If they announce we struck a deal, like games are coming, blah blah, blah, I honestly don't think anybody's gonna care.
No.
The majority of baseball viewers, I'm not going to say fans, I'm just going to say viewers, people who will turn on a game, I don't think there's going to be this buzz. Unless it comes with a whole bunch of, we came to terms on these rule changes and this thing and that thing and how we're going to improve and market the game and blah, 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 blah. If it's just, hey, we renegotiated, players get this much of the pie, and the game's just coming back the way the game was, nobody's going to care. Pete and Gansett says, only the fans can change the game with their hats. They have to put them on and leave. Yeah, well, that's been going on since before the pandemic.
Fans? Yeah, I mean,
viewership has gone down steadily. Attendance has gone down steadily. And not just like, nobody came out to Twins games. Yankees, Red Sox, across the league, the teams that you think are the big markets that should just rake. I mean, the Red Sox struggled to pull people in a good year during the regular season to get to the game, to watch the game. That should be a pretty good barometer to tell you that it's struggling. When you're like your premier teams.
Who wants to go sit in a ballpark though? Who wants to go sit in a ballpark for 4 hours and watch a baseball game? 4 to 5 hours. That's what you're looking at. Anywhere from 3.5 hours up. That's what you're looking at for a baseball game. I don't think anybody wants to sit there for like that.
Especially at Fenway in those seats.
I know, right? Yeah. Can't even get up from those.
Your legs go numb.
Your legs go numb. It feels like you're sitting on a toilet, basically. It's not a great time down there. No.
Yeah. Which they've announced that they're not making any changes to Fenway Park in the near future.
This ownership group probably won't, but the next one, you bet.
Fenway Park is just, it's a model of the past, and it's a living museum. It's just too difficult. You could not disturb that hollow ground.
Give it another 10 years, they'll make some changes. But it won't be under John Henry. I know that.
How long? I mean, so on that note, as we kind of transition out of this baseball discussion, because there's not much left to say other than, how long does he own the team? Much longer do you think he owns the team for?
Well, that was back in 2000, 2001, right? They took over and they said 20-ish years. So, but then they said maybe 25, 30. So we're going on 20 this year. So within the next 5 to 8 years, I would think they're probably done.
Do you think that's just John Henry out, or do you think that's the entire Fenway Sports Group?
I would think maybe the whole group. Well, it's hard to say, but I think that whole group is probably going to be out by then, maybe. And they'd be looking to sell.
Yeah. Which would be an interesting time for one, like, if that's, say, 5 years from now, what does baseball look like?
Basically, all they have to do is stick around until Bronny comes to the NBA and gets drafted by the Celtics, so then LeBron comes here, and it's just like a reunion, basically. Right?
Now we're talking.
Yeah,
now we're talking. Now we're talking. That's juicy. That's the juicy stuff. It'd be interesting to see, I mean, what's baseball going to look like at that time? And for better or worse, I mean, this ownership group has been great for the Red Sox. We might argue like now what is their approach going to be? Like, should they spend more money? Should they have done this? Should they have done that? At the end of the day, I mean, the World Series that they've brought to this team, that goes directly to that change. and then what will it look like after that? And that would probably go in line with like what baseball looks like.
Yeah.
Does baseball want to become a competitive product, or does it just want to be in the business of being on TV and making money?
Yeah, but I mean, baseball has to change the game itself, right? I mean, they're testing out some technology at Vanderbilt, I think it was, in the college scene. So, and that's like, technology that's allowed on your wrist, not John Farrell's Apple Watch. This is actually tech, so you can give the signs from the dugout to the pitcher and things like that to make it move instead of, okay, the catcher puts down a 1. Oh, no, let's shake him off. Okay, there's a guy in third. Let me run out to the mound, talk to everybody, bring in the infield. And then, 55 minutes later, we get a 4-pitch walk. Yeah. Basically, I'll give you the indicator, and then I'm going to go here and YMCA, and it's just so they have to find ways to change the game itself, and then we can talk about, okay, fans will start filling these stadiums again like they used to. Like, I mean, you look 15, 20 years ago, hockey was down here in terms of, around here it was pretty high up on the list, even though the Bruins were sucking at that time. But it was still pretty low on the list, and baseball was way up there. And now it's kind of shifted the other way, and those other three have just kind of taken over, and it's not even close. I mean, if you're asking me if I'm watching a baseball game or a hockey game or a football game or a basketball game, any one of those major four, baseball is not even in the conversation. I'd rather watch UFC. I'd rather watch I'd probably watch boxing over it. NASCAR even. You might be able to give me a couple
Formula One.
Formula One. Sure. Golf even. I mean, if you're talking about a major championship of golf, those two go in line more than the others, and I think I would watch golf instead. I don't know.
Yeah. We're here on the back.
Definitely UFC. UFC's, I mean, that's top of my list right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, the opposite, giving people what they want at a like base carnal like caveman level.
True.
Like,
yeah.
Triggering that reptilian part of the brain that's just like kill him.
Yeah.
Like that's what UFC gives us.
Blood and gore.
Finish him. We do have a other little baseball nugget, but we'll save that for hot and not. Christian, you just threw this in here, and I hadn't seen it. Breaking news. Is this breaking? Like, did something actually get legit reported, or is this just like a joke, like breaking news? But you put Green Bay looking to make Aaron Rodgers the highest-paid NFL player on short-term deal. Not that we're surprised that this is the case. We've heard that, the relationship is mended in Green Bay.
You want me to give you the full thing?
Give me the full thing. Let's hear it.
The Green Bay Packers are negotiating a short-term deal for Aaron Rodgers that would make him the reigning MVP, the highest-paid player in the NFL if he returns in 2022. Ian Rappaport says of NFL Network. So it's a legit report.
So what's that cap? I mean, isn't Matt Ryan due to make like 45 something? Because I heard I heard that Matt Ryan is going to have the highest cap. Let's see. We'll go to the good old Spo track. We'll see what the highest salary for next year is set to be. And honestly, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to want to go just $1 over that. We know that. We know that he's going to want to go, I can take you higher.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. AAV for next year. Pat Mahomes due to make 45. Where's Matt Ryan? Because I saw something. Maybe it's that Matt Ryan's total salary. Maybe that's what I was looking at. I mean, 45 is the cap hit. It's the value for Mahomes. Just crazy. So what, 47? Like 50 million for one guy? Yep. I mean, we've said it before. Aren't the Packers just so stupid? Why would you do that? I know it's Aaron Rodgers, but didn't last year just tell you enough? He was MVP again. He got you to a playoff game and just didn't deliver. Has anything Aaron Rodgers has done in the postseason in the last 10 years made him deserving of $50 million? No. You're better off rolling out Jordan Love. Or, trading Aaron Rodgers and signing Tyrod Taylor and putting $50 million into the rest of the team. Man. Colin says 50 mil, huh? If that can't make a guy win a conference championship game, what can? Clearly not Ivermectin. Ivermectin? I can never say it right. We all know what we're talking about. Horse tranquilizers.
Ivermectin. Joe Rogan's his cocktail there, his drug cocktail.
I just think this would be ludicrous from the Packers' perspective.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna do it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't feel like he was gonna come back to the Packers. It's starting to feel more and more like he is now. I can't remember what the hell he was doing the other day, but he was on Pat McAfee talking about his he hasn't even thought about it, and he's been giving himself an enema.
Him and Shailene Woodley aren't together anymore, so he's not eating mud anymore to try and clear his mind.
They're working. Maybe they don't know what their future holds. That's what the rumor is. But he was he was doing some weird ritual thing, spiritual guided thing where he's I can't even go into it, but he's throwing up and giving himself I don't know. It was weird. I can't remember the name of it. If somebody can, maybe. Let's not solicit the internet on this one, Christian. No. I trust Colin. I think Colin could probably find the video of him talking about it, because he was there's some spiritual name for what he would. It's an adventure of the spirit, and it's it has some name to it.
A Baja Blast at 3 a.m.
I meant to put him on the not list. I think this was last week, because I just cannot. I can't stand this guy. No, definitely not that, but it was something else.
Oh, goodness. I mean, it almost feels like this is one of these, they're Aaron, they want him back, but he doesn't really care whether he's there or anywhere else next year. And he's just they're what can we do? What can we do? Hey, I'll come back if you pay me $60 million. Figuring they'll just say no, and they're okay, yeah, we'll give you $60 million. What?
I just have to. I feel like I have to find this, but I don't want to search things in Google right now.
Oh, do it! Incognito tab. Take note.
That's true.
You can take care of yourself.
At this point, whatever, right?
Pete Gaines says Vision Quest. What? It's something. He's on a quest for something.
Oh, he's on. Yeah, he's on a quest. He's on his own quest. Nobody's gonna. There we go. That's it. Panchakarma. That's it. Yep. That's it.
Oh, God. Let's see. You're gonna look it up. We need the definition now.
Panchakarma is a method of cleansing the body of all the unwanted waste after lubricating it. Panchakarma are 5 in number, hence the term Panchakarma. Treatment is unique in the sense that it includes preventative, curative, and promotive actions for various diseases. Let me see if I can find.
So yeah, you eat Taco Bell at 3 a.m. and you cleanse your entire body the next day.
Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know. But this is something Aaron Rodgers would do.
On top of the ludicrous idea of committing that much money to one player when you feel like that guy wanted out, and the direction and where your team is at and everything, is it better to just move on? Everybody's saying move on. And you're going to commit that much money to a guy that might be somewhat coming undone too?
He's doing a bunch of karma. You want the 5 treatments?
Oh yeah, let's hear them.
The 5 therapies are Vamana.
That's made up.
Emesis. So then there's the therapeutic purgation, a nasal medication, a medicated oil enema. There you go, and a herbal decoction enema.
But Colin says bloodletting made through the ear therapeutic emesis? Oh, yeah. I don't.
We're going down a rabbit hole with Aaron Rodgers right now. It's not good.
I mean, hey, this show, our best segments have been the rabbit hole segments, but
that's true. Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
What? This one just doesn't involve food. It involves the body.
It sounds like you don't really eat and you just clean yourself out of everything. I don't know.
Including brain cells.
Yeah, but you do not shave your head. That is one thing that he did not do. So, we're waiting for that.
Here you go, Green Bay. Green Bay fans.
There we go. Okay, so it was vomiting. So
therapeutic vomiting. Those are two things. I feel like that's an oxymoron. I can never. Now listen. Sometimes there's a case. Day after, oh god, last night was kind of rough, and you just know, you know what? I just gotta get out of the way. Just gonna get this out of the way. What?
Move on.
All right, we're better. The evil is gone, so to speak. That is like that's not this. No one just wakes up and says, "Oh man, I was just having such a bad day today. I was in a weird mood, and so I just decided to throw it up, get that mood out of me."
Karma?
This literally sounds like 18th century medicine.
Yep.
You have ghosts in your blood. The prescription is cocaine.
He said he was immunized, but now isn't the immunization gone after he cleansed himself of everything?
Yeah, he's cleansed himself of his immunity.
So now what? Now what does he have to get re-immunized?
Yeah. Yes. Good point. Good point, Christian. I don't know.
We can move on now.
What a train wreck. Oh my goodness. Gosh, that is just completely ugh. Yeah. Moving on. Moving on to something equally disgusting. For those of you who are NBA fans who maybe stayed up last night to watch the Lakers play, especially if you're a Celtics fan, because it's like New York and Boston, LA, Boston in basketball. You enjoy the suffering of the other. The Lakers were booed off their home floor last night.
I was going to say, playing is a loose term when it involves the Lakers. Yeah.
Booed off their home floor. They lost 123-95 to the New Orleans Pelicans, who, without Zion, are just like middling along here. They're like the 11th seed, I think. Barely in the play-in tournament right now. LeBron scores 32. Was a minus 22 in the game. Nice. Russell Westbrook, 7 turnovers. LeBron had 7 turnovers too. Was a minus 26. Carmelo Anthony, who was terrible. The whole team was just absolutely brutal. This is like everybody kind of called that this would happen with this team. When they traded for Westbrook, it was like, how do these pieces fit? Like, it doesn't really make that much sense. And, you're bringing Carmelo and this guy, that guy. Bring back Dwight Howard. Oh, we got Rondo back, which I thought Rondo was an important piece for their championship team. But then they're playing him off the bench, obviously, because you have Westbrook. You got to play Westbrook. Everybody knew it wasn't going to work. But you figured LeBron, they'll find a way to somehow make it work, and at least they'll win games. Maybe it won't win a championship, but they'll win games. It is so bad now in LA. I mean, they are in a better position to just tank it and get a lottery pick than to win a championship.
Yeah.
Right now, which is crazy to think about considering what they invested to assemble this team. Christian, do you think the Lakers even make the playoffs? And is LeBron done enough? Should he leave LA after this year?
Where's he gonna go? That's the question. I mean, what can you do if you're the Lakers, though? You get rid of him and Anthony Davis and just start over? I think you can clear out some of the pieces around them. I don't know if I want LeBron to leave necessarily if I'm a Lakers fan. We all know what the situation is with him and his son. When his son comes into the league, he wants to go play 1 year and that's it. So until then, I see him with the Lakers as of now. And I still think him and Davis are good enough if you surround them with not like weird collection of guys that kind of don't mesh. I mean, Westbrook, I thought maybe could possibly work, probably not as well as Rondo, but then, I mean, it clearly just doesn't. And then Melo makes absolutely no sense unless he's like playing 10 minutes a night off the bench. And even then, are there better bench guys out there? Probably at this stage of Melo's career. So it's a weird situation for LA. They're kind of in like a tough spot where they're not going to really get a great pick in the draft, but they're not going to be good enough to make the playoffs. Do I think they make it? Probably not. They might get the play-in. But if you're the Lakers, are you aiming for the play-in? No, you're aiming for titles. It's like, at least that's in my mind, I feel like the Lakers are aiming for titles, not a play-in tournament.
Yeah, I mean, how soon do you think before? Because they're 3-7 in their last 10.
Yeah.
Right now, I think they're sitting in the 10 spot, so they'll be in that play-in round. How soon before, if it stays that way, we get, LeBron's going to take like a month off with some groin soreness, right? Or ankle soreness, and they can slip out of that playoff position without really losing face anymore trying to make this work. The other thing is, like, I think you got to get if LeBron's going to stay, Westbrook's going to go. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't see Westbrook lasting beyond this year. That's for sure.
It doesn't work, but at this point, he's gone Houston, DC, LA in 3 years. Who's going to take him? I mean, there's always somebody. There's always a team that wants to just vacuum up the league's trash.
Right.
I don't think it's OKC anymore. So we'll see who that team is next year or this offseason.
OKC will sign him and then trade him for draft picks. That's probably what they'll do.
Yeah. But not a good situation. I mean, it's crazy to think LA, LeBron goes there and year 2 wins a title and you feel like, okay, you'll have this slow ascension of where Davis maybe overtakes him as the better player and LeBron's kind of tutoring him in how to like be a champion and a championship mentality and make him more of the alpha. And they can like have this a 3, 4, 5 year run. LeBron retires, AD's still there. You keep building around him and he ages. Wow. I mean, this is one of those like sold your soul, got one. And the Lakers weren't heading in any particularly good direction before LeBron got there. And whether it's this end of this year or end of next year, if he just plays out his contract and leaves, they're gonna go right back to the basement again. And in the NBA, that's a really hard place to crawl out. Now, LA obviously is LA. They can just spend money if guys want to go there. But nobody was going there before LeBron got there.
True. I just think
even when Kobe was there at the end, like they won in 2010, and then still couldn't really put much more around. I mean, him and Gasol just got older, and then who wants to go play with like a lottery team, even though it's LA?
Jason Tatum.
No, don't do that. Maybe that's something I'd be worried about. So yeah, that was wicked bad if you're a Lakers fan. Wicked fun if you're a Celtics fan to watch that last night. To answer my own question, I think they make the playoffs in the play-in tournament and lose. Does LeBron leave after this year? No, only because he plays out his deals. Should they entertain trading him if he is open to a trade? Yes, 100%. Yes. Trade him. Get something. Position yourself to rebuild the team. You let him just play out a year and then walk away like he's one to do? That'd just be bad business, I think.
Yeah.
Pancha
Karma is 5,000 years old, by the way, according to Colin.
The Pancha Karma. We're not going to be able to get away from the Pancha Karma thing. I mean,
no. 5,000 years old.
Now I need to know. I gotta Pancha Karma. I mean, from where? Where is this? Is this like a Far East treatment? Let's see. Wikipedia. Oh wait, no, this is not Wikipedia. What did I click on? That's not Wikipedia.
Moving on.
It wasn't like that, Christian. It was just like it's like Wikipedia. I don't know what it's on. I don't know. It's alternative Wikipedia. I don't know. Evidently, this doesn't have its own Wikipedia page. That should tell you all you need to know.
It's it's a surprise. How about that? Yeah.
I need to know more. Sports Illustrated's got a story on it. I need to know more, but yeah, now is not the time. And now for something completely different. News in the international sports world. The organization which loves to pat itself on the back and is happy to do things well past the time they should and congratulate itself. The International Olympic Committee, the IOC, today has banned Russia from international competition, which they get a very little tiny, not even, like, just one clap, right? That's it. That's all they get. IOC, where was this months ago? Where was this with China, with the things going on there? Where was this when Russians were doping at the Olympics? Like, where was any of this, like, strong stance? 2 weeks ago, non-existent. Games are over. Now we can have time to just jump on board and pile on with everybody else. But I guess, like I said, little one singular
golf
clap for the IOC, because this is the correct move. You just know it's kind of hollow coming.
I did FIFA.
Coming from them.
I believe FIFA did the same thing as well.
Yeah,
it's a little different because the IOC is what you just said, but FIFA is doing something. NHL released a statement. So this is all happening here now. And it's tying into sports because, it did directly involve them, obviously, and some of their players. So here we are again.
Yeah. And you mentioned to me something about NHL guys, too. There was something going on today with the
I'll
NHL
see if I can
players.
find this story again, but it's, the Russian players in the NHL are kind of, I don't know if it was a specific team, but they're trying to up security now because of people giving them death threats and things like that on social media, obviously.
Obviously, Alexander Ovechkin, clearly, he's got battle plans. He's sending
Yeah.
messages back to the homeland on what to do.
So, I mean, the NHL, they obviously, I think they stopped business with like the Russian partners and everything as a whole, but then it kind of goes, they said something about their players as well, and their safety is obviously important as well. So it's just another layer of it. Now it's going to start tying into these things. So, obviously with Russia and the Ukraine in that situation. So, there's your tie-in. I mean, it's like, how far do you go? Like, what are you doing, people? Get off social media. Stop giving the guys that are playing the NHL in this country as their job has nothing to do with what's going on overseas just because they're Russian. I mean, it's just mind blowing. I mean, it is Twitter, so I can't be that surprised. It's just like, but still, I mean, it's just, it's wild. So now everything's tying together. I mean, this happens, all the time pretty much.
Yeah.
Sports are always how big sports are, and especially with the NHL, they have guys from Sweden and Russia and Germany and all these places overseas, as well as here in Canada. But there's going to be a direct tie-in when there's players from there, and you obviously have issues with people sending them threats online. So
yeah, hockey's an international game, and so when you have international crises and events, things like what's going on. We're not a politics show. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole. We like rabbit holes. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But that sports will be affected by this. I mean, think about the reason we're doing this show with a split video screen is because of an international crisis that affected our ability to do the show in person. So,
yeah, I know. Right?
And at the time we were kind of quasi laughing about it when it's like, you're not going to have fans at sporting events. Like, how can you even do that as like a joke? And then, a week later we're like hiding in our rooms, making masks out of bandanas.
Just for clarity too, this comes from Dan Milstein, I guess his name is. He's an agent in the NHL, and Darren Dreger had it as well. He just spoke with, this agent obviously, and they have concerns about real threats to his Russian-based clients, both in person and on social media, to the NHLPA and NHL clubs with Russian-born players. Milstein is asking for additional security for his players.
Yeah.
So that's it's not one specific team, but there's players all over the league.
Yeah. Which again is unfortunate. Like you said, get off Twitter. Stop accusing.
And I guess it's even
people
in person,
who play
too,
hockey.
I can't believe people are doing that on the streets here. Just like, well, I guess I can, but this is the day and age that we're in. Like, everybody has to be on one side of the fence, right? So,
yeah. Unfortunate. It's all unfortunate. That's the easy word to describe all of it. So, for a little more fun, maybe, because of some of the things we have to discuss, because of some of the things coming up here, but let's get to Hot and Not.
It's time for Hot.
Hot.
You want to talk about hot?
Hot.
Please stop doing that.
Doing what?
Continue. Go ahead.
And not.
God, is he a moron? Oh my God, he doesn't shut up.
It's so stupid.
Stupid decisions.
Dum-dums. The naughtiest knot of the year.
Oof. Suck fest. Suck sauce.
On the 360 Sports Show.
All right, Christian. Hot and not. You lead it away here with the hots, the goods, the ups. What do you got?
I have the clip here. But I went with Mr. Jeremy Swayman. I mean, a lot of people aren't staying up to watch these games out west. They start at 10, 10:30, everything like that. But Jeremy Swayman, let me see. I had the notes up there. He is 4-0-1 in his last 5 with a save percentage of 9.64, and he is clearly kind of kind of coming into his own here and kind of taking over ownership of that net. I mean, he's been very good here as of late, and even past those 5 games. It's kind of a scrum. It might be hard to see, but
Oh wow, the puck was still loose. So he gets knocked over. I think hopefully this shows a replay here. Gets knocked over. Here we go. This is a good angle. So down, up goes 5-hole, falls back. Everybody Bruins all in the net trying to keep it out.
big pile.
Still loose. Honestly, lucky there that the Bruins didn't get a penalty for. Is that DeBrusque there, who maybe looked like he could have closed his hand over it?
Yeah,
or
couple
even
of them.
Coyle.
Riley, Coyle, all of them are in there.
Because that's a penalty, and then to have it played back that side, and then flashes the glove. Whew. Yeah, doesn't get much better than that.
And he's just kind of coming into his own now. I mean, we thought with Rask, he went down to Providence. Clearly didn't affect him too much. I think maybe he took it a little in a way that, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go show them that this is going to be my net. So he's kind of coming into his own. Now, are they playing the best teams? I mean, San Jose is not like upper echelon, but still you have to play every night. And I think even beyond these previous 5 games that I just mentioned, he's been really good. And I think he's just kind of, he has some issues with rebound control, but he's 22. I mean, he's a young kid still. So I just like what I see from Swayman, and it just goes beyond that 5 games as well.
Yeah. My hot was pretty easy. I went with the Providence College Friars men's basketball team.
That's a good one, yeah.
I mean, we've right before the pandemic, we were really digging into the college basketball scene. And at that time, URI and PC were both really good, and we were hoping to go down to New York and be there for both the A10 and the Big East tournaments, and we all know what happened next. Yeah. And so, obviously, being Rhode Island guys, we've kept our eyes on the local college basketball scene. We don't get to talk about it as much because there's always so much other news, but we're getting to that point now where college basketball gets to ramp up to really take hold of the sports news cycle. And PC, just what a year. 24-3 now, 14-2 in the Big East. They claim their first ever Big East regular season championship. They play Villanova tomorrow. I'm not sure when the next game is. Ranked 9th in the country now. I mean, obviously, a lot will determine, if they can win the Big East tournament. Yeah, they play Villanova tomorrow at 6:30 at Villanova. So that's a big game. You want to finish your regular season strong. And then the Big East tournament starts March 10th through the 12th. I think PC, if they can win the Big East, the tournament, they're ranked 9th in the country right now. They have a chance to be seeded somewhere favorable and hopefully make some noise in the March Madness tournament, which would be great for the state because we love we love college basketball. Unfortunately, it had gone on some tough times. Last few years here recently, PC, sure. URI. This year's just been awesome to watch. And obviously, clinching the regular season title, wanted to finally give them the shout out that they were due.
Yeah, you want to see them make some noise in the tournament as well, like you just mentioned. That's where it really, everybody's eyes are on them then.
So, we will obviously be keeping our thumb on the pulse of PC, and as we ramp up here quickly. I mean,
crazy, right?
2 weeks away from March Madness. Unbelievable to think about. All right, Christian. Now to the other side. Give me a knot. I think we could have just spun a wheel this week and picked a whole bunch. So sure. give me your top knot.
I had just heard this yesterday or early this morning. I can't remember which, but I don't even know what team he's on. He's in single A or double A. But Brett Netzer in the Red Sox farm system went on a 20-tweet rant about how he's racist. And I don't even want to go. He deleted his Twitter since. The Red Sox have since released him.
Oh, what? He's no longer proud of what he has to say?
It beats me. And people were asking him if he was hacked. Basically, the synopsis is, I mean, you can go read a couple stories about it, but he went on his rant about it was very homophobic and racist, and when he was, presented with a challenge from some other people on Twitter, he said, "Yes, I am a racist. I'm glad that's out of the way," which is not ideal. I mean, the guy is 25, making a living playing minor league baseball, and now he is going
to be... If you can call it making a living to begin with.
And now he's going to be nowhere to be found. That would be my guess. I mean, like,
witness protection, name
what
change.
What are you doing, dude? Like, I won't read all the tweets, but it's just, and he started going after Chaim Bloom, and that because Chaim Bloom is Jewish, and he started going after him. This guy's your boss. Do we not know this? And so just complete whack job, I guess. I don't really know what the situation is. He just came out of nowhere on Twitter. To my knowledge, right? I've never heard of the guy. It's not like he's, an up top end prospect, but he's still in the farm system in a minor league team, vying for a spot on a professional roster maybe someday. Well, that ship has sailed now.
Somebody who has opportunity. You have an opportunity to set yourself up pretty well in your life, and you just flush that opportunity down the drain, and now you are publicly just you self-admitted. You said, "Yes, I'm a racist." Which how often do you ever see that? Even when people go on these tirades, somebody says, "You're a racist." Like, I'm not racist. No, I'm not. This guy goes on the tirade and says, "I am racist." I'm glad I got that out of the way.
Here, this is better from a story from Yahoo. This is just
that's not something you see every day.
No,
it's crazy.
But he posted tweets about, among other things, but this is just a quick synopsis from this one story from Yahoo, doubting Bloom's Jewish heritage, calling closest transgender people rapists, calling for black people to return to Africa, and accusing Jews of being anti-LGBTQ. And then he obviously opened up with, "Yes, I am a racist." Literally out of nowhere, he just started tweeting, like, I think it was last night into today or the night before into yesterday morning or something. I don't understand. But I've never seen anything like this before from a guy who's trying to make a living off of professional sports. There's a lot of money in that. You can make a really good living. And I've never seen anything like this.
No.
And I don't even know what triggered it. I'm not even sure if maybe that's it. I didn't see anything in the story that I read. And that's just the first, but I don't see anything that triggered it. I think he just started spewing off this stuff on Twitter.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that gets the knot for me. Yeah. That's top of the list.
Pretty easy. Yeah, just unfathomable. Like you said, like, the people who, like, when they go on these tirades, whether in person, a guy goes on a rant with the media, right? Whenever they're accused of, "Hey, you're blank," insert, term. It's always defensive. No, I'm not.
Or I got hacked, or I got
this guy hacked. Yeah, they try and backpedal. This is full steam ahead.
Like
to just firebomb a career.
Done.
And not just career, baseball career. Like I said, witness protection, name change. You got the whole thing. Like, they might not hire you to bag groceries in South Dakota.
I know.
Like,
what are we doing?
Insane. Insane on all those levels. And we don't have to say that it's insane what he said. That's evident.
Yeah.
So
just ridiculous.
Crazy. Pete Gansett says, "Pandemic fever has taken a terrible toll in many places." I mean, I guess. I don't know. Whatever happened, whatever triggered this. Oh, boy, not good.
But one of the issues was he got... We can move on. But one of the issues was he got... someone reported that they were going to be releasing him or something after he started all these tweets. And then he started going after Chaim Bloom. I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
And then now he's since deleted his Twitter and everything, but still, like, little late.
Yeah.
You put something on the internet, it's there. So
I easily could have picked this as a knot as well. I easily could have picked Olympic ratings, which were in the crapper. No surprise. I easily could have picked DeAndre Jordan, who had one of the greatest outlet passes ever. I mean, not that centers are known for their passing, but there was a great compilation last night. It was Robert Williams making a great pass from the point into Jaylen Brown for a dunk. There's one of Nikola Jokic going over the shoulder to the corner for a three-pointer. And then there's DeAndre Jordan, who took his time, who dribbled the ball, who picked it up, uncontested, nobody around him, and threw a lob pass about 100 feet out of bounds into a loge seat.
Yep.
I could have picked that. But you know what? Let's stay with baseball, and let's crap more on baseball. Derek Jeter, stepping down as CEO of the Marlins, who wanted to bring some prestige. Just another in a long line of these great players don't make good owners. Or GMs or anything.
Definitely
in
not.
sports.
What a train wreck.
Awful.
Barely got off the ground, let's be honest.
Yeah. So I just had to put now on top of everything that's going on in baseball. You got Derek Jeter's yeah, I'm out. Can't do it anymore. Even though I'm sure that team made money for him, I'm sure the pockets that needed to got filled. Even he's I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out.
That's when you know. That's when you know it's bad. I don't know, who can you say has done this as a player and it's gone well? Michael Jordan is in Charlotte. It's not gone great. Larry Bird maybe with Indiana, I guess.
I was going to say John Elway in Denver has done a good job.
Kind of. I mean, he had the Peyton Manning years, right?
Yeah.
But outside of that, have they really identified a guy and gone after a...
No,
Really?
I mean, long term, it hasn't. I mean, and now he's in a fight with Peyton to buy the team.
Right. Yeah, it's just... I feel like it never works, but what do I know?
It usually doesn't. Well, especially part of it is guys. I mean, and I think Elway is a little different. And Bird's a little different-ish. He
Yeah.
had success. Did he ever win a championship? No. But Michael Jordan, we know there's so much ego there. So to be a coach or to be the guy picking players, one, he's gonna think I'm better than this guy.
Yeah.
Or this guy sucks. You can't be me. Just do this. And it's dude, I'm not you. I'm not Michael Jordan.
Right.
So to try and coach guys, it's it just can't. Those guys can't do it because of the expectations that they had of themselves. They kind of it's almost impossible. I'm trying to think, who would be the most successful star player to go on and be a GM or a coach.
Danny Ainge.
Yeah, he wasn't a star. He's a role
I know.
player. But one of probably the more successful former players to go into management and coaching and find
He did
success.
something, right? I mean, yeah. He also got Kevin Garnett, but
I'm trying to think of, Doc Rivers, right? But again, not a star player, right?
Yeah.
Point guard. Point guards, tons of point guards become coaches in
Right.
the NBA because they're kind of like coaches when they're players. They're the floor general. Yeah, I mean, you go look at the successful coaches, and it's never the superstars. It's
very
more
rare.
It's more of the role players. Steve Kerr, great coach, was not no superstar, bit player, an important piece for that team, for those Bulls teams, but was not the engine. Does Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen?
Cam Neely.
That's closer.
But again, what can you I don't know. I mean, they won the one cup, they got the two others, but lost them, and then the drafting has sucked, which I guess is more on Don Sweeney, but still.
So that's another that's a more summer project too. We could
Mario Lemieux, maybe
we could
I don't know.
peel back. Yeah, I'm trying to think baseball, right? I think baseball might be where you find it more, probably, with guys who had winning careers, maybe were stars and then become coaches.
Yeah, High Bloom. Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that nobody just immediately jumps to my mind tells me. So the next time a superstar player buys your team, becomes your general manager or your head coach,
Yeah.
ain't gonna work.
I mean, it doesn't.
History will tell you. And the first time it works is the time it works will probably be the first time. We'll give it more thought. It definitely deserves more thought down the road. We'll do some research. We'll test this theory and report back. Two other things. They're NFL related before we say goodbye to you here on Monday night. One is the Kyler Murray situation in Arizona, which is very weird. I think he's entering his 4th year there, right? 19, 20, 21. Yeah, so his 4th year. Obviously, I think he's looking for a contract extension also. But there's all this noise going on in the ether of, does he want to stay? Is he committed to the team? Is the team committed to him? The normal noise you get. It's very rare that you see a player put out a very lengthy statement with, this is what Kyler wants, to be a champion, committed to winning, committed to being loyal to the Cardinals, and then a whole bunch of other stuff and saying, like, hopefully the Cardinals do the right thing and put the pieces around him and give him the contract. Because usually it's like, well, you've just given away your position. Right? Like, you don't see players who are trying to negotiate for deals say, I want to stay here no matter what, so you better just give me the money I want. The team goes, oh, you'll stay here no matter what, so, I don't know, $17 million a year.
I also just don't, like, I think getting
your
money...
But to air it all out in the public like this is very strange.
Yeah, but also, like, is Kyler Murray in a position to do this? I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. It's weird.
It's like, you just had people around you, like, they got you Hopkins... They were red hot to start the year, and then as the quarterback goes, the team goes, right? And I don't think Murray was great after his injury. And then in the playoffs, again, they weren't good. So
and he was particularly bad.
And now you want a contract. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why now you're doing this and calling for, like, I need to be a high top. What does he want? Like, top 5 quarterbacks in the league? I don't think he's there. I don't know.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, let's see. Where's I want to see what his current contract is, what he's due to be paid. Kyler Murray, 18th highest paid. Trevor Lawrence is making more money than him. That's crazy. Ooh. So his cap hit this year will be $11.3 million. Not chump change. And I guess he does not have... It's weird. There's no values here listed for the 5th year. Maybe that's because the team hasn't picked up the option yet. It says it's available, but I guess the team hasn't picked it up yet, which is a little surprising. This is what's weird, right? And we're seeing this kind of come to a head with a lot of these quarterbacks. Teams know it's a quarterback league. The Bills have said Josh Allen is our guy for the next 10 years. And they gave him $250 million for a guy that has not won a Super Bowl yet, right? But we think he can. We want him to be our guy, and the cost of doing business for that guy is this. But what happens to some of these guys in the middle? The Ryan Tannehills, the Baker Mayfields, the Kyler Murrays, where do we know if they can win a championship? Like, you're not a bum.
Not really, though, yeah.
You're not a superstar yet. Or just maybe your team doesn't think you will be. So you're kind of in that middle area, but the players, I feel like we're hitting this point where teams might be kind of starting to say no to just giving the next. We said, like, it seems like all these quarterbacks are just like next turn. Every year, whatever quarterback is a free agent, if a team thinks that that's their franchise quarterback, you got to reset the market. Oh, they paid Aaron Rodgers $50 million this year, a year? I'm Ryan Tannehill. I want 52. I'm Baker Mayfield. I want 53.
Yeah, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, you name it. Yeah.
Hey, but Patrick Mahomes, you know what? He can ask for an entire bank from the Chiefs, and they got to give it to him.
But that's what they're looking at, right? They're not going to be Patrick Mahomes, but they want to be in the top 3 of that.
Exactly. Like Joe Flacco, got a whole bag, but he bet on himself. Hey, I want a Super Bowl. You want to keep me? Pay me top dollar. Reset the market. But like not every single quarterback that it's a free agent should be given that treatment. And I think teams are kind of starting, because the money's getting stupid, are starting to kind of back away from that. Like Baker Mayfield doesn't have an extension. Like Kyler Murray might not get an extension here. And, I think they're saying like, oh, their team, sides want them to do the right thing. I don't know. Team's going to do the right thing and say, I ain't going to give you some 5-year extension worth like $300 million if I think that you might not last 6 years. Like, yeah,
probably not. I mean, look, it's like.
And the question is like, how long does this draft? If say he goes into training camp and he's not given an extension, is he going to hold out? Is he going to pull a Deshaun Watson, and just say, I'm not playing until you give me my money, and then maybe be unhappy with the team anyways and still want to get traded?
Yeah.
I don't know. Where does it end? I think a lot of these guys who are right in the middle, there's gonna be a bit of an awakening there, from the money perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just.
I mean, look, I just agree. I don't know what else to say. I mean, look, I don't think Kyler Murray to me is like, he's not Patrick Mahomes and he's not in that top 5. So I don't understand where the leverage is coming from his side. I just don't know how and especially he hasn't performed in the postseason.
Yeah. Top 5 quarterbacks by value right now: Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, who has not played a football game in over a year, almost 2 years. Then Matt Ryan, Russell Wilson, number 6.
One of those guys is not like the other.
How about number 7? Jimmy Garoppolo. The perfect case of
good one.
Getting all the money because you're our franchise quarterback. Or not even franchise. You're our starting quarterback. And this is the cost of having a starting quarterback in the NFL, is to pay a guy $137 million back, which back when he signed that deal was like almost top dollar. He's going to make $26 million this year, which now seems like a bargain. And that's probably what you should look for, Kyler Murray.
In that range for sure. At least as of now, if he wins something in the next 2 years, then maybe. But like, it's just such a weird time to do this. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I do want to look quickly because we did bring up Matt Ryan's contract this year. Holy, my God. Yeah. So as of right now, his cap hit coming into this year will be $48 million. He will have the highest cap hit in the NFL until Aaron Rodgers gets this deal.
Pretty much, exactly. Yeah. There's no way. Yeah.
Which if you're Atlanta, it's like, where are you if you lose Matt Ryan right now, right? The team's not in a position to really rebuild. They got kind of like a little too much talent to tank. Not that it's all that hard to tank in the NFL. You just tell the team we're tanking, and you pay your coach $100,000 a loss, and away you go. But it's fine for them to pay that money and be somewhat relevant, and just let him play out his career there. He's only on the books for 2 more years, whatever. For the Packers, $50 million, when you really should just move on. Absolutely insane. So, speaking of moving on, last little note, Ali Marpet is retiring from the NFL, which is a fascinating story on 2 fronts, because this is another guy. This is an important piece for the Buccaneers. Another reason why, if you were Tom Brady, reason to walk away. Again, roster problems with Tampa.
Yeah.
And just more evidence of maybe, I think this gives more credit to the Brady just wants out of Tampa whole discussion, which we can continue to have into the offseason. For Marpet, obviously, it feels like his career's like just started, but he's been in the league 8 years already, which is like crazy. 8 seasons in the NFL. D3 guy. So an incredible career for him. Made almost $40 million for an offensive lineman. Got a championship. But walking away for health reasons. I think we're going to just see more and more of this. There's the guys playing 10, 12, 15, God, like Brady, 20 years. Those days are gone, I think.
Yep.
It's just too much awareness about the potential impacts of playing a brutal contact sport. So we talk about records being broken. Some of these records are never going to be touched, no matter how much you change the rules, because guys just aren't going to play that long anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the average NFL career is 3.3 years. So retiring at 28, maybe he gets ahead of. He's also a lineman, right? So he's banging his head against other massive human beings on the front. So get out of it while you can. I mean, he's been in the league for 7 years, I think, all with Tampa Bay. So 7 years in the NFL is not a short career. I know it seems like it, but it's just not. He's just very young for someone to retire, I guess. But he'll have his hand in other things, I'm sure. But it's just one of those things. It's like he's probably doing it for his own good. Maybe he wants to spend time with his family while he can and things like that. It's just like one of those things. The NFL is not it's not an easy game to play. It's not an easy game to prepare for. So it's another one of these guys that gets out kind of early at a young age-ish for retirement in these sports. But let's face it, the NFL is not like, basketball or even, the position that he plays. Tom Brady can play 20 years because he's a quarterback, right? And they've changed the rules. Linemen, defense or offense, you're not going to play that long in the NFL. It's just the game is not made for you to play 25 years.
No, definitely not. So hey, $37 million. You can, if he's managed his money well, he can retire and be happy for quite a while.
He's no Zdeno Chara, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, hanging on for dear life, can't let go of the game. Christian,
still beating the crap out of people though. Should have mentioned that. Zdeno Chara at 40 something, 42, 43. He's played the most games of any defenseman, and he's just still punching people in the face. So.
I don't think anybody ever doubted his ability to just absolutely bludgeon somebody. I think they doubted his ability to even move on the ice anymore.
That's true. I mean, he didn't shrink or anything, so he's still a massive human being.
No scoliosis yet. So before we log off here, Christian, any late breaking news? Has Major League Baseball struck a deal?
No.
Not expected.
I'd be very surprised if they do.
Anywho, actually, before we go, as promised, let's check the mailbag. Not the mail. Well, I guess you could say mailbox. Mailbag, interweb mail. And nothing here, but you can email the show. For those of you who are our podcast listeners, the 360sportshow@gmail.com is where you can find us if you want to contribute towards the show. If you're one of our podcast listeners, thank you for finding us through Sounder FM.
Follow TikTok. Follow the TikTok.
I was gonna say if we can keep climbing the TikTok following, we can live stream to TikTok as well. You can see this. And
on TikTok. Imagine that.
And that. And that.
This.
And that. And this. On TikTok. Just what everybody's been missing in their lives. So, yes.
I'll tell you what. Once we hit TikTok, it's all over.
So, at 360 Sports Show everywhere. Go follow us. So, for Christian Lauber, I'm Andrew Pizzelli. That's the show. Have a good night, everybody.